Hey everybody, we are in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 12 today, which says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life." Hope deferred makes the heart sick. This is more of an observation than a moral imperative, and that's what Proverbs gives us mostly. It's just, you're looking at life, this is how it works. But there's still some good lessons for us to learn here. Hope deferred, meaning when you love something and want something and hope for something dearly and don't get it, that makes your heart sick. It's difficult to move on past that. I mean, you can look at this in a little way. When a little kid wants to go to a friend's house or go to the movies or something, and then at the last second, it turns out we can't go after all, then that kid begins to weep and cry. Why? Because hope was deferred. You see this in athletes when they lose the big game, and you think, come on, you're a big, strong man. You're going to get to play it again next year. What are you so worried about? Because when you put your energy and your hope and your love into something and then you don't get it, it makes your heart sick. And also, you can see this more seriously in a marriage. When you've been hoping for a good marriage, for a good relationship, healthy in every way, and then you don't get it, it can make hearts sick. And this is something that we need to be aware of. So what can we learn from this? Now, first of all, we can learn to treat each other well. You know, that you're not going to be holding up false hope in front of people and then snatching it away, because that's going to make their heart sick and it's going to wreck all your relationships. If you have no intent to deliver on something, don't offer hope to people. Maybe this is your kids. The New Testament tells us not to provoke our children to anger. Don't be constantly making promises to your kids if you have no intention of delivering on them. A kid might not like it if you're not able to do X, Y, or Z, but they're going to hate it if you say you're going to do it and then you don't deliver on it. So don't do that. Don't hold up false hope. Don't do this in your marriage. Don't be constantly making excuses to your husband, constantly making excuses to your wife and stringing them along so that they'll still be with you, because eventually it's going to lead to bitterness and a sick heart, as Solomon says. If you're an employer, don't be constantly dangling little things in front of your employees to get them to work hard and do more if you have no intention to give it to them. Don't talk to them about raises or promotions or anything like that if you're never, ever going to do it. Just be honest and upfront. People will at least respect you for that, even if they can't enjoy what you're trying to say to them. You'll make these people sick. But conversely, you keep your word, you speak truth, and you only offer hope when it's possible and probable to be fulfilled. It's a tree of life, and people are going to love you for it. So don't hold up false hope in front of people. It's not a good thing to do. And secondly, what about you? What are you putting your hope in? This is something to consider. There are things that we dream about, things that we want, things that we daydream, and we go online and we look up all the information about it, that are only ever going to make our hearts sick if we want them. A clear example of this is in a relationship. Maybe there's that guy or that girl and you're just dreaming and you're in the clouds and it would be so great if we were together. And meanwhile, your friends around you, your parents, whatever, are telling you that guy's no good for you, she's no good for you, they're going to break your heart. Don't get your heart wrapped up in this hope, because it's only going to make you sick in the end. Career aspirations even. Maybe there's something you want to be or something you want to do, and it's a foolish hope. Maybe you don't have an aptitude for that thing. Maybe you don't have the credentials and there's no way to get the credentials. So by spending all your time brooding and thinking about it, maybe even decades later after the ship has passed you by, it's only going to make your heart sick. Instead, you should focus on things that you know you're going to be able to accomplish, that are reasonable to accomplish, or that you know you're willing to put the time in. That's something else too, right? If you want to hope for something big, but you're not going to follow the rest of what Solomon says in terms of wisdom and pursuing those things, then it's not going to happen. You're going to make yourself sick. I want to be rich. Well, if you don't take good care of your money, you're not going to be rich, and that hope is going to make you sick. Oh, I want to be the CEO. I want to be the best. I want to be the star. Well, you got to go and put in the work and put in the time. It's not just going to be given to you, and it'll make you angry and bitter. We've all known people like that who have wrapped their hopes up in foolish things, didn't want to put the time in, and now they're angry because it never happened for them. Instead, put your hope in things that you know are going to last. Which brings us to Romans chapter 5, verse 5. This verse lets us know the most important thing that we can be focused on. It says, "Hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." There's one hope that will never disappoint, and that is the salvation of Jesus Christ. God has sent his Holy Spirit into every Christian's heart to testify of the truth of salvation and the future hope of heaven, which is never going away. That's something that will never put you down. And even when the rest of life has broken you to pieces and you're starting to think that there is no good hope, there is nothing worth living for, and you start to get cynical, You look to Jesus Christ because he's never going to let you down, and he is coming back to save you someday. And that's something that will fill you with joy. It'll fill you with peace. It'll fill you with love for one another. God's never going to make your heart sick. It's going to be a tree of life waiting for you on the other side. So important lessons, I think. Don't hold up false hope in front of people. Don't even hold up false hope in front of yourself. But look to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, whose hope will never put us to shame. God bless you guys.